is in our midst.
He is and ever shall be.
In today's gospel reading, we hear of a woman that was bent over, that had infirmity for 18 years. And our Lord saw her and called her over and laid his hands upon her, and she was healed, and she was straightened up and gave thanks to God for her healing. And there was a leader of the synagogue who scolded Christ, saying to the people that were assembled around him, that there were 6 days in which healing should take place, but on the 7th day of the Sabbath, nothing should take place, since it was a day of rest. And Christ responded to this hypocrisy, saying that on the Sabbath, do not loose your oxen or your ass and lead them to water. And here, and this is very important, here is a daughter of Abraham. And she has been under satanic assault for 18 years, and she has been healed. And the people glorified God and gave thanks. And the fathers of the church, in looking at this incident, this story, have many things to say. They look at the woman and they see her as someone that is from the lineage of Abraham, and thus is of the human lineage of Christ, and appoint this gospel reading for us to begin to remember the lineage of Christ, so that we remember what? The incarnation of the Logos, the incarnation of the second member of the Holy Trinity taking flesh. And this passage is cited by the fathers when they are engaged in the struggle against heresy, against those who would say that there were a human being and a God united in one. And they say and point to the healing of Christ in laying hands upon this woman as manifesting what? That the Logos was in fact incarnate. There is one person, one divine person taking upon a human nature, perfectly divine and perfectly human, but one divine person. And on a deeper level, the fathers look at the woman and they say that she represents humanity, and humanity that is bent over and concentrating on worldly things, the inner person, concentrating on worldly things and thus deformed, because by concentrating on the earth, she is bent over. And why is she bent over? Well, this is revealed by the numbers. In Greek, it's a little bit more clear. In Greek, 18 is said this way: eti deka ke ochto, years 10 and 8. And the fathers say the 10 calls to mind the commandments of God, the standards by which we are to live. And the woman representing the inner man dominated by worldly things has lost sight of these standards in her life, and thus is deformed. And the 8, according to the fathers, represents the new age, the 8th day, the kingdom of heaven. What we realize here when we celebrate the resurrection on every Sunday, when we celebrate the Pascha on every Sunday, we are celebrating the kingdom of God. Blessed is the kingdom, is how we begin the liturgy. And it is eminent for us, but that eminence, that coming age, is lost to the soul that is deformed by being bent over and concentrating on worldly things. And what is that kingdom of God that we are awaiting? It is, in fact, our own resurrection from the dead. It is, in fact, Christ touching us, Christ healing us, and our life with him together forever. It is, in fact, expressed by the Greek word theosis, to be united with God, to live in that kingdom. I pray that all of us will be healed as this woman is healed, as we struggle in this life, that we will be strengthened by Christ as we keep our eyes, the inner eyes of our soul, upon his standards and commandments, and that the kingdom of heaven will lie within us, and that we will see it with the eyes of our hearts. God bless you all.
The blessing of the Lord be upon you through his grace and love for mankind, always, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Glory to you, Christ, shadows, glory to thee. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Father. May Christ, our true God, who rose from the dead through the intercessions of his most